I worked on a project this summer about how to make a smart city just a little bit smarter.
We have a couple of guests with us today from Plano. We have Trey and Casey, and Trey and Casey worked together. Trey is Casey's mentor this summer, and they worked on a project on control systems for smart cities. Wow. So Trey, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about the project?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I'm Trey Rose. I'm one of the security engineers over in CSO, and I'm joined here with Casey Renteria, who is our intern for the summer. We had him work on a few threat models of different smart city technologies.
Cool. So what in particular about smart city did you investigate?
So I really went into the adaptive signal control technology. So basically traffic signal technology and the ability to implement smart technology into actually real-time traffic management.
Okay, so it sounds like you have a presentation for us. So I guess let's take a look.
So basically, within the smart cities technology that we're looking at, we have census networks. So from there, I kind of chose Dallas as the point of contact in terms of the location for this technology, because soon we're actually redeveloping a portion of the city to actually be a smart district. And adaptive signal control technology is all about improving the traffic flow. We're getting faster responses to traffic conditions in real time, and we're cutting costs. So this technology basically works by having sensors that are embedded into the surface road. And then from there, those sensors are sending and receiving information and data by detecting vehicle presence and sending them to different devices such as repeaters, which are extending the range of access points, which is the central authority location for the actual information that's being sent over to traffic management systems.
And those sensors are typically, I guess, based off of one or a few different manufacturers. And how have an understanding of how well those sensors are protected from any sort of cyber attack or anything like that?
So those sensors were actually one of the specific things that we found was actually vulnerable, especially in previous models. But in my own personal threat model that we found dozens of vulnerabilities. One of them was spoofing. We found repudiation, elevation of privilege, information disclosure. And so a security researcher by the name of Cesar Cerruto actually was able to identify the communication that the sensor actually sends out. And he actually found that the communication is completely in clear text with no encryptions or any other security mechanisms of any kind as well. And the danger in that is that attackers can theoretically alter the configuration of these sensors because the firmware isn't digitally signed, which is going to allow someone the ability to trick the sensor and therefore manipulate the traffic lights themselves.
Okay. Well, it sounds like you mentioned two different kinds of attacks there, because one, you're saying that the firmware itself isn't signed, which means you might be able to permanently change that sensor so that it will always be lying. But it also sounds like because it's sent in clear text over a wireless protocol, that you would be able to jam the real signal and spoof a different one. Am I understanding you right?
Right. So I was probably more discussing the second one that you were mentioning, because with this specific scenario, the researcher was able to find we can use a small little data transmitter, like a wireless little data transmitter size of a USB, and be able to actually interfere with those data signals and communication that is being sent from the sensors themselves to the access point.
Got it. All right.
But I guess where the real concern comes down to is just the fact that it's able to be done when you want to make a city completely have a big network where it's all interoperable with one another. Then we want to have a completely secure network where even if it's a small thing as a sensor, we see that if you can access that, you can actually create a larger effect on the system itself as a whole, and maybe even get into other parts of the network that don't just deal with transportation. but also deal with other good public services within the city itself.
All right. Well, cool. Thanks. Sounds like really interesting research.
I think at the end of the day, you'll be a hero to all the people that are stuck in traffic once this gets implemented.
Yep, one by one.
So Casey, I understand you have your discipline is business and cybersecurity, and I think that's a really great combination. So how would you say coming to AT&T for the summer during the internship, how do you think your background in the two helped you doing your research here?
I think it was very helpful, actually, just because with the business, I really have those good researching skills. So I can, with this particular project, it was a lot of research and a lot of kind of reaching out to other people who've worked on the different projects themselves. So I think in that aspect, it was interesting because it's not all just tech. You get more, a lot of the administration and business aspect of it, business side of it.
Yeah, that's a good perspective to have, definitely, because I know a lot of the guys on our team are primarily technical. Right. And when it comes to the overarching concerns that come with a technical system like a smart city, I know that I can tell you, if you give me time to read the protocol spec and I can find the attacks about it, right. But making the decisions on what are we actually going to do, and what is it going to cost and everything that comes above what I think should be done, having a business perspective definitely helps in that regard. So Trey, as Casey's mentor, what kind of guidance and direction did you provide during the research project?
Well, like any internship such as this, getting him in here and kind of getting him acclimated to the corporate culture, but at the same time giving a project that taught him how to do these things and how to look at a system from a security perspective. And as we said, is with the business and the security parts that he's doing for his studies for his discipline, he actually brought a lot to the table that our technical team didn't always think about. And putting those together and him seeing how that goes together, I think is going to really benefit him in his future. But we also saw some good things as well that we can consider for our future projects as well.
Well, that's great. Well, Casey, I wish you the best of luck. I thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.